to serve you in Washington every day with someone who I can genuinely hug and say, great to be with you, brother. Could you give a round of applause to my senior senator, brother of Christ, Tom Cole. And for sending Lisa Blunt Rochester to serve with us. She is a prayer warrior without match in the Congress of the United States. You know it, I know it. She is a blessing to us every single day. Who's in charge? God is. Who's in charge? God is. Who's in charge? God is. And I am blessed to be at an institution that knows that and shows that. I just sent my twin boys off to college. And not meaning to demean any institution, I'll just say that I went to the drop-offs for both of them. And at one, I heard remarks from the president that essentially congratulated the institution and the students, how bright and talented and wonderful they all are. And I kept waiting for something else. And we went to the drop-off at the other one, and it began and proceeded and ended with a recognition that God is in charge. God is in charge. So all I'm going to say is if I were a Del State student parent, I would feel blessed to know that this is an institution that begins the year by recognizing that God is in charge and that prayer is the way to proceed in all ways, in all things, at all times. So to Dr. Michoud, to the provost, who I know is on his way to China, to the faculty, to the professors and teachers and staff, and to the students, thank you for a chance to be with you. I'll tell you, I need this today. You may have picked up there's a little something going on in the place I commute to on occasion. And we're not going to bother you much with that today. We got plenty of work to do right here. And we've got plenty of blessing right here. But I'll just say, two things have happened in my life in the last 18 months. I'm now on blood pressure medication. My daughter's got a nickname for them I need not share. And I am so blessed to have the opportunity to lead the weekly prayer breakfast in the United States Senate. My co-chair is the only other senator with a divinity. And James Langford, a conservative Republican from Oklahoma, ran the country's largest Christian youth camp before he literally got hit on the head by God who said, you got to go to Congress. I mean, there is no other explanation. This guy had no political background or experience. And was the longest, some people call me an accidental senator. You should hear this guy's story. Driving around in a school bus, 5th out of 5 in a primary, there's just no explanation but God's hand on him for him to be in the Senate of the United States. And we could not disagree more on the stuff that people think is what matters in politics. And I will tell you, in the last 18 months, we've gone from acquaintances on opposite sides of a boxing ring to genuine personal friends. Amen. We speak together, we pray together, we've introduced our families to each other, and we have found a way to respect each other across these distances and differences. And I share this briefly with you just to say, what are we here for this morning? The power of prayer. I never stop marveling at the power of prayer. My worst days are when I think I'm supposed to do X, Y, or Z. I'm frustrated that I can't accomplish A, B, or C. I'm concerned that I won't be able, because it's not I. It's not even us, it's him. And when we begin by recognizing that it's in his hands, and our call and our charge is to do the very best we can, recognizing that, only then do we have any hope of making progress. Yes, we are called and challenged to pray for our enemies. Not just our friends, not just those who like us, not just those who say nice things about us. And I feel so blessed to have that opportunity each and every day. And if you missed it last year when I was co-chair of the National Prayer Breakfast, I thought the most important thing I could do with the 5 minutes they gave me was to stand and pray for President Trump, with President Trump. Because just 48 hours before that, I had been with him right here in in the first dignified transfer that he had attended as president. And he invited me to join with him. And despite all the mess, I had the opportunity on that flight line to see the weight of his job on his shoulders. And to suddenly be moved and to recognize how incredibly hard his job is and how important it is for all of us that he be blessed and be successful. Yes. Let me turn to a topic for a moment if I could. I do a lot of thinking about prayer. I don't do enough doing. I do too much thinking. Some would say this is my problem in the Senate as well. But I've been reflecting on a book that's been an interesting insight to me. It's by Anne Lamott. And its title is its message. Help, Thanks, Wow. Help, thanks, wow. And Anne's point is, every human prayer comes down to those three things. Help you, help me, Father God. Help me. I need, I want, I yearn, I ask, help, 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 help. And as Hurricane Florence bears down on North Carolina, it's a reminder to all of us. There's moments urgent and there's moments passing when we say, help me find a good parking spot. Is that really what God should be doing today? In all things, or help save my grandparents who are in the face of the storm, or help save my home, or help save my family. It is perfectly appropriate that we be on our knees saying, help us, Father God. But don't you ever forget Psalm 100, right? Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. In all things, make a joyful noise to the Lord. Live in all times by serving the Lord with gladness, and come into his presence with singing. That only happens when whatever the answer is to help, we say thanks, and let's not forget the last, which is wow. It is so easy in this world to forget the wow. Me, I find wow whether sitting on a mountaintop looking into the distance or at the edge of something like the Grand Canyon or on the beach or the seashore here. You just take a minute and open your heart to wow. Could you join with me for one moment and close your eyes? Just close your eyes. Just close your eyes. Think of the most amazing moment you've had in your life. The birth of a child, the marriage of a child, your own marriage, something that happened to you, and now think about the most beautiful thing you've ever seen. The seashore, a sunset, a sunrise, and just say, wow, wow. We live in an amazing creation that God has blessed us with deeply. Creation is his gift to us. Now open your eyes and remember what Hebrews teaches us, that faith is. Faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. And remember that you have seen. You have seen. In front of your eyes have been over and over the moments of wow, when creation right in front of you said, I love you, from the Creator. I've been trying to figure out the one thing in life that combines all three. Thanks, help, and wow. And it's grace. It's grace. The idea that God knows us. I mean, knows all about us. I mean, knows everything about us. I mean, I'm the vice chair of the ethics committee. I know a lot about my colleagues. God knows even more. The stuff that doesn't go on the disclosure form, the stuff your spouse doesn't know, the sad, weird, bad stuff that you think you knew, God knows it. And he still loves you. And he still wants you. And he still waits for you. And he still smiles when you take a moment and pray. Thank you. Help, thanks, wow. How can God possibly love us when he knows us? When we waste his time with help, 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 and his message to us is, I've got this. All our prayers should simply be one. Wow. Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, Lord. Thank you for your blessing. And to Dr. Eric Crawford, we are excited about our message today from Mount Zion, and we are looking forward to having a moment in prayer where we can say in response to your interpretation of God's word,